for God to show up, and that's the problem. Not the desperation, not the crying out, not the prayers at 2 a.m. where you can just barely make out the words and you're just groaning because it's been too hard for too long. That's not the problem. The problem is what's underneath the prayer. Because the moment you ask God to show up means you've already decided in your heart that he's not already there. You know, you didn't mean to. You didn't sit down and write a theology on how God is absent, but somewhere in the middle of the waiting, in the fire, in the silence, you decided that he's not there. You reached this conclusion that he must have stepped back. And that conclusion is not faith under pressure, but rather it's a lie carrying your fingerprints on it. And that's the most expensive thing that you're carrying in this moment. Isaiah 43 verse 2. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. When thou passest through the waters. This is not if, not maybe, not perchance, but when. God didn't write this for people who avoid fire. He wrote this covenant for people already in it. And I want you to feel the specificity of that, because this verse wasn't written to prepare you for something coming, but rather for the moment that you're in right now, where the waters are rising and the flames are burning. And the silence of God feels like the loudest, most damning sound in the room. And into that silence, he says one thing: I will be with thee. See, this isn't, oh, I'll come when you've earned it, or hold on, help is on the way, or I'm watching and I'm working on it. He says, I will be with thee. He's already there. And the whole crisis, the reason you can't breathe is because you don't believe it. So now we go to Babylon, to the furnace, where Nebuchadnezzar has already signed the order. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they're bound up and thrown inside this blazing inferno. And I need you to understand that the fire here is not a metaphorical fire. This is a literal fire that they're being thrown into. And the soldiers who throw them into this fire literally die at the door as they're doing so. The heat is that real. The threat is that physical. See, there's no angle for which this ends well for these three men, but yet they go in anyway. Now I want you to watch this. See, the king looks into the furnace expecting to see bodies, expecting to see ash, expecting that the God of Israel cannot hold up his promise, but instead what he sees is that there's a fourth man in the fire. He sees four men walking in the midst of the fire. See, they're not crawling towards the exit or barely surviving at the edges. They're walking around in the midst of the fire, unbound, as men who are not afraid. And the form of the fourth one is like the Son of God. He's already in there. See, before Nebuchadnezzar had looked, or anyone else could see it, or there was any sort of visible evidence that there would be anything in that fire other than destruction, God was already in there. See, you've been standing outside your own furnace begging God to come in, but he was in there before you even got there. So now we go back to Isaiah 43 verse 1, which says, Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. That word in Hebrew is the word Ga'al. It doesn't mean God looked down, felt compassion, and sent help. Ga'al is the kinsman-redeemer word. It means you go in yourself. You don't delegate this. You don't issue a decree from a safe distance. You enter the situation personally because the person in trouble belongs to you. And that is who is in the fire with you. Not a God monitoring the situation from afar. Not God who's assembling some sort of help team to send. A God who descended, who entered, one who is standing in the flames right now, not because he had to, but because you are his, and he does not send his people into the flames alone. And the enemy knows this, which is why his entire strategy in this current season is to keep you feeling abandoned. Because a believer who thinks God is absent performs, strives, begs, negotiates. But a person who knows God is present, that person becomes dangerous. Your desperation is not the issue. Your address is. You have been living like someone forsaken in the fire, but you are not forsaken. You are accompanied. I'm not talking about the season you survived. I'm talking about right now. The thing that's burning this moment, the situation that looks like it has no visible exit. The silence you've been living inside and calling it God's distance. He is in it. He's not coming. He's not en route. He's not scheduled to intervene when the time is right. He's in the fire with you right now. And the whole reason that this fire has not consumed you is him. The reason you're still standing is him. The reason the water has not gone over your head is him. You're not the one who's held the line. He is the one. And the prayer that's going to change everything isn't God, where are you? It's God, I see you. So stop asking him to show up. He's here right now. He was here before the fire started. He was here when the door closed behind you. He's here right now in whatever you walked into this video carrying. The marriage, the money, the diagnosis, the silence, the dream that feels like it's dying. He is here. I've called thee by name. Thou art mine. The Bible says that when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of that furnace, not a hair on their head was singed. Their coats weren't burned. And there was not even a smell of smoke. Not even the smell of smoke. Because the one who controls the fire was standing in it with them. The fire you're in does not have the final word over you. Christ does. So open your eyes and stop waiting for him to arrive. He's already in it with you. So get back into your life knowing that and watch what the fire cannot do.